Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. Now just a heads up, towards the end of the video, actually might I say right at the end of the video, I'll be making a special announcement, which I'm sure a decent amount of you will be happy to hear and will get pretty excited about. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out what it is, because as I said, I'm pretty sure a decent amount of you will be pretty excited about it. So obviously at the conclusion of Season 3 of The Flash, we saw Barry Allen willingly give himself up to the Speed Force in order to stop the whole raining down of lightning upon Central City due to the disruption within the Speed Force. Now when Barry entered the Speed Force, we did learn that he wouldn't be harmed or hurt or anything like that, that he wouldn't be entering the Speed Force prison essentially, which had been occupied by Savitar, Wally West, and Jay Garrick previously. So he wouldn't be going in there and living, hell on earth over and over and over again. But this has sort of been messed around with, as producers on The Flash have said in the break, so in between seasons and the lead up to Season 4, that Barry would indeed be in a living hell. They didn't specify the Speed Force prison, they just said he'd be in a living hell. So due to this, it is hard to predict what Barry went through during his time in the Speed Force. But regardless of this confusion surrounding whether Barry will or will not suffer in the Speed Force, one thing that a lot of people have been asking and wondering is around the question on whether we, as the viewing audience, will get to see Barry's time in the Speed Force, whether this be through a recap of sorts once Barry gets out or just before he does, or if it is through a series of flashbacks, which many people think will be the case. So not necessarily like Arrow, but similar to Arrow. So in the rest of this video, I will be explaining what we know about all of this so far, what's going on and what we should expect. But let me know all of your thoughts, as well as if I've missed out on anything regarding this in the comments section down below. And of course, if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like on it to show your support and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Now, the first thing to mention regarding this is something that Grant Gustin, who obviously plays Barry Allen on the show, has stated recently in the lead up to Season 4 of The Flash, and that was that we would not see Barry's time in the Speed Force, which actually did upset a lot of people. However, we have had certain things released that do show the repercussions of Barry's time in the Speed Force and give us little hints that further down the line we could get glimpses of things that Barry has experienced in the Speed Force without it being seen as if we spend way too much time or focus on it. But firstly, I will play the two promos or promo trailers that they have released that do feature Barry outside of the Speed Force, just in case you haven't seen them, or you just want to watch them again, because they do relate to what I want to talk about later on, so enjoy them.
You need to prepare yourselves. Barry? You're home.
The Flash.
I made you a new suit. May I take it for a spin? Flash is back.
This is not what I had in mind when you said we should hit the town.
This might be a late night.
Sorry, I'm late. The curls were not cooperating this morning. I hope you had a light breakfast.
No, I had pancakes and sausage and fruit and cereal.
It's my girlfriend. She could summon the power of any animal.
It's up to us to protect this city. From now on, I only do date night and tactical gear. Go ahead, fire away.
National City is my town.
The weight of the whole city falls on my shoulders.
Has everybody lost their minds?
So we will go over a few points from those promos that relate to Barry and his time in the Speed Force, but first I will just go over a quote from Grant Gustin from a recent interview regarding Barry just after his exit from the Speed Force and what to expect with Barry. Initially, Barry is pretty scrambled when he comes out of the Speed Force. He's not himself, he's talking nonsense. The way I see it, when he was in the Speed Force, he experienced his whole life laid out in front of him from start to finish. So in some sense, he's come out very wise, kind of knowing everything, but he has no understanding of what he's seen. So he comes out very jumbled and talking what he thinks makes complete sense, but just nonsense to the rest of the crew. Now the first thing to pick out from these promos regarding Barry is the shot when Cecile brings in Team Flash into Central City Police Department to find Barry back in this reality out of the Speed Force. You can sort of see like little symbols in the shots when we see Iris trying to communicate with Barry, but it was in a promo picture that was released by Entertainment Weekly or EW.com, along with that interview sort of quote thing I read out earlier, that we did get a much better look at what Barry wrote on these walls in the Central City Police Department. At this point, it's basically impossible to decipher or like translate what Barry has written on these walls, as well. Just look at these symbols, they're like ridiculous. But as we move on in the season, Barry will learn how to translate what he is writing, so not only us, the audience, understands what the hell is, written down on the walls, but also so the rest of Team Flash can as well. As Grant Gustin said in that interview, Barry will come out of the Speed Force with a ridiculous amount of knowledge. He'll be very, very wise, but have like no real proper way to convey that information to the others. We of course also do see similar, if not the exact same symbols being written down by Barry in this area, where I think we can all agree on at this point is within one of the cells in the pipeline beneath Star Labs, where they'd usually hold like the metahuman villains. And this is due to the fact as we do see his eyes like flicker with lightning before he speeds out of the cell and most likely goes to save Iris, so you'd have to connect all of these scenes together. Obviously there is a small chance that this little scene could be in the Speed Force, but I don't know. I think it's more likely that he's in one of the pipeline cells when he has all those symbols on the wall there. But this code or language that we see Barry writing could be something that remains a mystery for a decent amount of episodes, and could be the quote-unquote mystery that keeps the Flash community talking throughout at least the opening half of this season. Obviously this season we don't have like any masked villains or characters, so there won't be any theories going around on social media and stuff like who is Savitar, who is Zoom, etc. So nothing like that. So Barry might be able to remember back to certain points of his time in the Speed Force and remember what certain symbols that he's writing down mean in English, I guess. Now probably not all of these at once, as there does seem to be a decent amount going on there, so I think it would be smart if they stretch it out a bit, not have it all like come to Barry at once, like have it slowly leak in what these different symbols mean. But if small amounts of these symbols are slowly translated episode by episode, it could allow viewers to possibly translate what is being written down by Barry before it's technically, revealed on the show. It is a long shot hope that this could possibly happen, but seeing there is a lack of mystery, as I said before, in season 4 in regards to characters, it would be pretty cool to see something like this happen. But let me know what you think of that in the comments. Would you like to see something like this happen, or would you rather them just, have it all explained in one episode and really leave no mystery to it in regards to us, the audience? Now, there are obviously scenes from those promos of Barry, not like really with Team Flash, but trying to get back to his normal day-to-day life, like going to work and stuff like that. Like we did see in that promo where, he's talking to Captain Singh and he's talking about breakfast and stuff like that. Just trying to get back to his normal day-to-day life while also trying to get back to his life as the Flash, because he has been in the Speed Force for a long time. Like it's been 6 months in our timeline, but in the Speed Force there's really no handle of time in that reality, so he could have been in there for a ridiculous amount of time in his sense. So he's been in there much longer than 6 months most likely in his time, if that makes sense. So as Grant did say in that interview, he's sort of scrambled, which is what we're seeing in those scenes where he's going to work and stuff like that. So I think that's actually going to be pretty interesting to see in those scenes, and it is going to connect back to the whole Speed Force vacation that Barry had, if you want to call it that. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I did have a special announcement to mention at the end of the video, and well, we're up to that point of the video. Now, some of you may already know what I'm about to talk about, which is fine. You might want to actually just keep listening, because I might have some details which you might not know about yet. I'm not too sure. But yeah, as I said, some of you might already know this is happening. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen me retweet some stuff. Or if you just subscribe to these various channels, which I'm going to mention in a second. But there is going to be a 4-channel crossover event live stream on the 29th of September at the following time. So I'm going to put them on the screen right now. So it's going to be on the 29th of September at 7 PM GMT, which is like London, England time. It's going to be on the 30th of September, 4 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So there's like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and if you live anywhere else in Australia or even New Zealand, you should be able to, work around that time and figure out what time it's going to be starting in your area. And then in America, it's going to be on the 29th of September as well at 11 a.m. on the West Coast, so like Los Angeles, and 2 p.m. on the East Coast, so like New York and stuff like that. Now, this live stream is going to be with DJ Eric. He's actually hosting the live stream. It's going to be with Boba Talks and the DC TV show, and of course myself, because why would I be mentioning it if I was not on it? Now, I will leave a link in the description below, to DJ Eric or Eric's Reloaded, his channel, because it has a video there specifically on the live stream, and you can actually leave questions in the comment section of that video that can possibly be answered on that live stream. But be sure to watch his video to understand what's going on there. Subscribe to his channel, because that's the easiest way to find out when the live stream is going on and be updated on it and see it when it pops up in your subscription feed, I guess. But I will talk about this live stream in the week of it, and most likely the day before, if not the day of it, because I'll upload a video around the time we go live. So I will talk about it more in the future, but I did want to give everyone a heads up just so you can get in early, know what's going on, because it's going to be pretty cool. We've been working on this for a while just to figure out a time for it to probably be scheduled, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's like about 2 weeks, a week and a half before the seasons come back, so it's a good time to have it, and if it goes well, we'll be sure to do more of them in the future. So yeah, link will be in the description below. So I'm rambling a bit. It's just exciting that we're doing this. So yeah, link will be in the description below for it to check it out, and yeah, just listen to what Eric has to say about the live stream. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on the video just to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below anything that I've said in this video, your opinions on it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.